Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Live Ones. Well, it wouldn't be the MLB postseason without some controversy, would it? The Boston Red Sox all set to go up 3-1 on the Astros and look to close it out at home. A really tight game, 2-1 in the seventh inning. And people knew this coming in. Laz Diaz, the home plate umpire, one of the absolute worst in baseball in terms of ball and strike call accuracy and the consistency of his strike zone, calls one of the absolute worst games I've seen all season. I mean, both teams have a valid reason for complaining. The man called 23 taken pitches the wrong way, according to ump scorecards. About 12% of the total pitches. Like I said, it affected both teams in different spots, but it was a critical moment in the ninth inning. Altuve had just tied it up. It was a 2-2 game. There were 2 outs, 2 strikes. It was Nathan Eovaldi facing Jason Castro. It's this backdoor curveball that went perfectly right over the plate, hit exactly the spot that it needed to. Castro laid off the pitch and it was called a ball. It was over the plate by a good 2 inches, so I'm guessing the call was that it was high, especially considering that Diaz was calling about 15 of pitches that were completely off the plate were called strikes. Castro fouled off the next pitch before delivering a base hit up the middle to give the Astros the lead, and then the floodgates just opened, and the Astros lit up for 7 runs. That call goes the right way. We go to the bottom of the ninth, tied 2-2, but those are the breaks. Just another case for robotic umpiring on full display. There's absolutely no reason why we can't do it in 2021. So the ALCS gets completely reset now. It's now a best-of-3 series with 1 more game in Boston and the last 2 in Houston. Meanwhile, over in the NLCS, it looked for all intents and purposes like the Braves were about to put it out of reach and go up 3-0 on the Dodgers. But then Cody Bellinger, by far the biggest disappointment on the Dodgers all year with his 165 batting average, paltry 10 home runs, lots and lots of injuries that he's been dealing with this year, finally comes through, remembers that he's a former MVP, and cranks a high fastball right into right center field for a game-tying 3-run homer in the 8th inning. Dodgers go on to win, and suddenly it's a whole new series there as well. Both series continue tonight. We'll have a preview of both of those games in just a minute. The NBA tipped off last night, and Russell Westbrook's rival in Los Angeles landed with a very muffled thud. Golden State, with a 38-point fourth quarter, just outplayed LA's bench, and the Warriors made short work of the LA LeBrons. Just like with the NHL, I want to give every team a couple of games to kind of get the lay of the land before we start making any kind of plays on that. We were 2-1 last night. Both of our hockey unders hit. Obviously, our Red Sox money line did not. We are 2-4 so far for the week, but again, it's only Wednesday. Lots of sports to go. Let's get right to it, and we are going to start off with the Red Sox and the Astros, ALCS Game 5, featuring a rematch from the series opener as Framber Valdez and Chris Sale both try to improve upon bad performances. Valdez allowed 3 runs on 6 hits with 3 walks and 2 strikeouts in 2 2/3 innings. Sale also just lasted 2 2/3 innings. He gave up a run on 5 hits and 1 walk with 2 strikeouts. Valdez will be making his 3rd start of the postseason, and he has not looked good in any of them. And that's bad news for the Astros, who need him to go long tonight after the yeoman's job their bullpen did for 7 innings, holding off that killer Red Sox offense last night. Christian Javier was forced to throw 3 innings, which pretty much takes him out of Game 5. Kendall Graveman's not going to be available either after he threw 30 pitches last night. That means the Astros are going to be effectively without their 2 best relievers. Add to that the extra added motivation the Red Sox have after they feel like they were getting hosed on calls all of Game 4. And I feel like this is a night where the Sox just tee off on the overextended Astros pitching. Don't know which way the game's going to go with these 2 offenses as usual, but I know that the Red Sox are going to plate a lot of runs. Give me the Red Sox team total over 4.5 runs tonight. We've seen what this offense can do all postseason. I think they get 5 runs and then some in their last game at Fenway before they go back to Houston. So moving over to the NLCS and the Braves and the Dodgers Game 4. The Braves clearly expect this series to go back to Atlanta because much like Dave Roberts did with the Dodgers in Game 1, the Braves are putting up a bullpen day in order to get their best 3 starters lined up for the final 3 games with the Dodgers. The Dodgers are going to be sending up Julio Urias, who has not taken a loss since June. We can expect to see Husker Yanoa on the mound to start, and then likely the veteran Drew Smyly backing him up. Neither one's been particularly impressive in relief down the stretch. In effect, the Braves are basically conceding this game and conceding that the series is going to go 2-2. And it shows in the money line with the Dodgers as minus 220 favorites. So there's no value on either side, and most books don't have a run line posted just yet, although I imagine it's going to be close to even money. I don't even want to chance the run line in the postseason, though. So let's take a look at the total of 8 because that's what interests me tonight. Obviously, the Dodgers with that offense against the Atlanta bullpen are going to be plating at least half of that, probably more. So it's a question of what can the Braves do. Urias, as much of a stud as he's been all year, did struggle against Atlanta in Game 2. LA had to use 8 relievers last night with Walker Buehler leaving the game as early as he did. Kenley Jansen, Joe Kelly, and Alex Vesia have all pitched 3 games this series. Those are some tired arms in the LA bullpen. So I think the Dodgers jump out to a nice big early lead, scoring 4 or 5 runs in the early and middle innings, and then Atlanta's offense gets the rest of it late, digging themselves out of the hole. So give me the over 8 runs here. That is my play for tonight. So moving over to the world of college football, we've got what was going to be a big Sun Belt game. I had this game circled at the beginning of the year. Coastal Carolina and App State, these are 2 of the top 3 teams in the Sun Belt. These teams both looked unbeatable coming into the year, but App State has just kind of fallen off a little bit, I would think, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Coastal Carolina is simply put the best offense in the country, 552 yards per game, almost perfectly balanced between running and passing, and an incredible 48.8 points per game. So not only do they get a lot of yardage, but they're also very efficient with their offensive possessions. They're undefeated and they're 5-1 against the spread. Their 3-headed monster of a running attack of Reese White, Shamari Jones, and Braden Bennett makes it easy for quarterback Grayson McCall to not have to throw the ball, but when he does, he's incredibly efficient with it. 14 touchdowns on just 109 total passing attempts. That is an amazing stat. These guys are just a juggernaut on offense, and surprisingly, they developed a killer defense to go along with it. I actually think this team should be ranked a lot higher than 16th in the nation, but it's just, that's life in the group of 5. But the defense is 8th in the nation in total yards and points scored. Like I said, I had this game circled at the beginning of the year. The Sun Belt was going to be a contest between these 2 teams in Louisiana. But after Louisiana just absolutely spanked the Mountaineers last week, I don't think this is going to be the close, knockdown, drag-out affair we thought it was going to be coming into the season. App State has a great offense as well, but it's missing a couple of key pieces in its running game. Cameron Peoples is questionable for tonight. He's nursing an ankle injury. They don't know yet whether or not he's going to be suiting up. And Dietrich Harrington's been out for a couple of weeks with an undisclosed injury. So that takes a lot out of their running game. And like we said, App State's defense is not as advertised. We saw that in the Louisiana game last week. I think the Chanticleers might score points on every single offensive possession tonight. And with Peoples either out or not 100%, I don't think App State can control the line of scrimmage effectively and keep pace with them. I'm on this game 2 ways. I like the spread of Coastal Carolina, minus 4.5 points, and I like Coastal Carolina's team total over 33 points. I think we see a very similar game to the App State-Louisiana game, where Louisiana ran the ball down their throats all night long, dominated the line of scrimmage, controlled the clock, and just didn't give App State a lot of scoring chances. I like the chance to win on the road tonight and do it in convincing fashion. That is my 3rd and final play for the night. Well, actually 3rd and 4th plays for the night. No play on either hockey game tonight. It's just too much of a clash of styles with the Flyers and the Bruins, and there are just so many injuries in play with the Vegas-St. Louis game to make a call. We're just laying off it tonight. And as I said, I want to see every NBA team play a couple of games and kind of get the lay of the land before I make a play on anyone. So that is it for us for Wednesday. Everyone bet safe, stay safe. Follow us on Twitter at Live One Sports. Check us out on Roku and Fire TV at the Live Ones. And have yourselves a great Wednesday night, and we will see you tomorrow.